Rain check on me.
Praise the Lord. I'll try not to show I'm not going to say it.
Don't worry.
I'll try to not go into as much detail as I was going to.
Oh.
Yeah, praise the Lord. But I am going to read a little bit. And then, after I read this, I'm going to read a whole chapter. It's not the longest chapter by any means, but it's several verses. And then after I read that, I'm going to try to paint something for you.
Okay.
You didn't know I was a painter, did you? I'm going to try to paint something for you. Praise the Lord. Let's all pray. Lord, our Father, praise you. Thank you for a beautiful day. God, I thank you, Jesus, for this opportunity that I have, Lord, to do something that you have asked me to do. God, I ask you, Jesus, to help me, Lord. I've got to have your spirit in me, Lord. I've got to have your strength, and I've got to have you in me, Jesus, to do anything in this world, Lord, but especially to do what you've asked me to do, God. I ask you to help me. In your precious name, amen.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. Praise God. Deuteronomy 11. Praise God. And you just see if a lot of things that were said here tonight is not just right along with a lot of this. Deuteronomy 11. Praise the Lord. Therefore, thou shalt love the Lord thy God and keep his charge, and his statutes, and his judgments, and his commandments, always. Always. And know ye this day, for I speak not with the children which have not known, and which have not seen the chastisement of the Lord your God, his greatness, his mighty hand, and his stretched out arm, and his mercies, and his acts for his works, which he did in the midst of Egypt, unto Pharaoh the king of Egypt, and unto all his land. And what he did unto the army of Egypt, unto their horses, and to their chariots, how he made the waters of the Red Sea to overflow them as they pursued after you, and how the Lord hath destroyed them until this day.
Hallelujah.
There may have been some people that had Pharaoh's army after them before they walked in this door tonight. But he's still drowning that army and the people that's following you. Oh yeah, you may not have felt the sword right back in your back, but it was back there somewhere. But he's still destroyed. He's still swallowing them up today. Even today. And what he did unto you in the wilderness, until you came into this place, right here, this place. And what he did to Dathan and Abiram, and I know I'm not saying them right, so forgive me, the son of Eliab, the son of Reuben, how the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up. And it didn't just open its mouth and swallow them up, but it swallowed their households and their tents. It didn't only get their household, but it got their tents that they go camping with. And all of their substance that was, and their possession in the midst of all Israel. But your eyes have seen all the great acts of the Lord, which he did. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land whither ye go to possess it, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which the Lord sware unto your fathers, or promised, what he promised you, to give unto them and to their seed a land that floweth with milk and honey. For the land whither thou goest in to possess it is not as the land of Egypt, from whence ye come out, where thou sowest thy seed and waterest it with thy foot, as a garden of herbs. Where they was at, they didn't have rain. It was a flat land. They didn't have rain. And the only way they got water was on the Nile River, overflowed it, just in its season. Just once in a while. Maybe once a year. I don't know, but it was just a season. But now, we're in a land where we can get watered all the time.
Oh, yes.
Just listen. But the land whither ye go to possess it is a land of hills and valleys, and drinketh water of the rain of heaven. We get rained on now, don't we?
Yes.
A land which the Lord thy God careth for. The eyes of the Lord thy God are always upon it, from the beginning of the year even unto the end. Not just when the Nile overflows. Not just once in a while when we just get a little bit of rain coming down, but from the beginning of the year to the end. All the time. All the time we get it. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, that I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain. And thou mayest gather thy corn, or your grain, and thy wine, and thine oil. And I will send grass in thy fields for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. He's not only going to feed us, he's going to feed our livestock. He's going to feed us, our household. Take heed to yourselves, that your heart is not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you.
Amen.
Oh man, I don't want the Lord's wrath kindled against me. I tell you what, brothers, you think you got wrath on you when your wife's anger is kindled against you. That ain't nothing. You know, that can just last a few days sometimes just a few minutes. Oh man, you get the Lord's wrath kindled on you, it could be an eternity. An eternity that you don't want to be in. And he shut up the heaven. Wow. I don't want that, do you? I don't want him to shut up the heavens. I want him pouring it down on me. And there be no rain. And that the land yield not her fruit, and lest you perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be as fortlets between your eyes. And ye shall teach them your children, speaking of them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. That's all the time, isn't it?
Amen.
And thou shalt write them upon the doorpost of thine house, and upon thy gates. You'll see them everywhere you go. Everywhere you turn around in your house. Every time you're laying down, getting up, standing up, whatever you're doing, you'll have it right there. And your days may be multiplied, and the days of your children in the land which the Lord sware, or promised, unto your fathers to give them, as the days of heaven upon the earth. For if ye shall diligently keep all these commandments which I command you, and do them, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways, and to cleave or hold fast unto him, then will the Lord drive out all the nations from before you, and ye shall possess greater nations and mightier than yourself. Every place whereon the soles of your feet shall tread shall be yours. From the wilderness of Lebanon, from the river Euphrates, even the uttermost sea shall your coast be. There shall no man be able to stand before you or against you. No man can stand against you. For the Lord your God shall lay the fear of you and the dread of you upon all the land that ye shall tread upon, as he hath said unto you. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God, which I commanded you this day. But it's a curse if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods which you have not known. And it shall come to pass, when the Lord thy God hath brought thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, that thou shalt put the blessings upon Mount Geriz, whatever it is, and the curse upon Mount Ebal. Are they not on the other side of Jordan, by the way where the sun goeth down, and the land of Canaanites, which dwell in the Shashpan over against Gilgal, beside the plains of Moreh. For ye shall pass over Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God hath given you. And ye possess it and dwell therein, and ye shall observe to do all the statutes and judgments which I set before you this day.
Praise God.
I wanted to kind of key in on verse 18 just a little bit. It says, therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul. That means get them in here close, doesn't it? But then it says, bind them for a sign upon your hand. I wrote a note on my hand today. It's still there. I can kind of read it. 418 West Maple. I know. I don't remember what the first part of it said. But I wondered how many times in the morning, first thing I do, I get up, I go in there and get me a cup of coffee. And I reach up in the cabinet, I get the coffee cup. Well, actually, I get Stephanie for mine on the counter. I use one with the lid. Get a coffee cup, I pour in coffee. And what's doing that? My hands are. But you know what? I never noticed my hands. I'm looking at that coffee cup. I'm looking at my pot. I'm looking at the coffee being poured in the cup. I never noticed my hands.
No.
Make a sign on your hands. Make a sign. That's what it says right there, doesn't it? Bind them for a sign upon your hand, that they may be frontlets between your eyes.
Yes.
That's something here that I think when you open your eyes, you can kind of see something there, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of bring it to your attention. Make a sign.
Oh, yes.
I want to key in on sign. There's all kinds of signs. When you go deer hunting, what do you see? See deer sign, don't you? See the track where there's a track? Sign on the dotted line. Have you ever heard, there's your sign? Do something kind of ignorant. They say, boy, there's your sign. I think one old boy says, there's your sign award, ain't it? I don't remember who that was. Some comedian. A sign. So tonight I want to paint you a sign. If I can. Now I'm not an artist. I don't have any paint. I'm going to have to try to paint you a sign in your mind. And I won't go into as much detail as I had in my mind. I'll be time. I'm going to paint a sign right here. 4 foot by 8 foot. A sheet of plywood. On each side of it, some white post pillars. Not just posts, but white pillars.
Yes.
Like you see on the White House.
Yes.
Beautiful, bright white pillars. How many of you have ever seen a sign that says, coming soon? You ever seen that out driving around? Coming soon.
Yeah.
Maybe coming in the fall of 2018 or the spring of 2024. Coming soon. This sign I want to paint to you, and I'll tell you why I'm trying to paint this sign later. But this sign I want to paint to you says, coming soon. Right underneath it, in bright, brilliant, colored red, Exxon. You know what Exxon is? E. You see them, 2 X's together. O-N. Got that big, bright, brilliant red, eye-catching. Underneath that's a bright, brilliant blue line. Under that, it tells you what's going to be there. Most times these signs, when you see them, they're out on a corner lot. Manicured lawn, looks like a golf course. Coming soon, Exxon. Down underneath that, it shows you what's going to be there. I see a beautiful red, white, and blue on gas pumps under it. Car wash over here on the side. Station back there behind it. And it's not just a Exxon station, but it's an Exxon station that has the best technology in the world. The best. Best technology in the world. You pull in, all you got to do is pull in, take out your cell phone. Oh, it don't pump it for you. You got to get out and get it. You push a button there, push down there, I want $25 worth of no lead. Like that, get out, you stick it in your car, get back in, it's paid for. Got a car wash there. Do you want a car wash? Yeah. I'll take a car wash. Oh, it's the best car wash in the world. Guaranteed to take off birds. You know what? Guaranteed to take off bugs. It's so smart that when you pull in there, if it's not clean, it'll just keep cleaning until it's clean. The best technology in the world. So my question is, what kind of a sign am I to this world?
Come on. Think about it.
What kind of a sign am I to the people that I work with? What kind of sign am I to my brothers and sisters that's sitting right here in this room?
Uh-huh.
Oh, can I show you the best technology in the world? This right here is the best technology in the world. Oh, it's better than anything that the Japanese has. It's better than anything that the Germans have. It's better than anything in this world. This is the best technology in the world. Because it'll get you to heaven. What kind of sign am I? What kind of sign am I to my boss or my employees? Or both if you happen to have them. What kind of sign am I? Am I the kind that stands out, that catches your eye? Sister Debbie said, we don't have to wear a big sign. We don't.
No.
But what sign we have, what are we portraying? The sign that we have ought to be portraying. And I'll tell you, I'm preaching to myself just like I'm preaching to anybody else. And I might tell you why here in just a minute. Now let me paint you another sign over here. This sign I can see with my own eyes because I saw this sign personally. In Olive Branch, Mississippi. I went to a funeral down on the other side of Memphis last month and went on over to Olive Branch, picked up a pump. I left there and I was on a little 2-lane road. And I come up and had a stoplight on it. Oh, it wasn't a stoplight like we have here. It kind of had a pole and the cable was down here, old-timey looking kind. The lights are hanging on it. And I pull up to that stoplight, and it's just kind of a 3-way stop. This turning left, the road just went up there and dead-ended. The barbed wire fence there. You could have turned right, but there's some buildings way out there. I'm the only one there. I'm sitting there all alone. And the light's red. I think, what in the world's going on? Well, why is there even a light there? And I look over on this corner, and I see a sign. Oh, it's not the beautiful manicured lawn. It's got trees growing up, little saplings. One corner of that little lot was, you could tell it had been brush hogged or mowed down maybe a couple of times that year. It was like this. And I saw a sign there. Oh, it didn't have the bright, brilliant white on each side. It all kind of faded. Kind of wore off a little bit. If it hadn't been for the trees behind it, the sign would have probably fell over. But when I glanced over there, I seen real faint X on it. I got to looking at it, and it said, coming soon. X on it. Underneath that, you know what it was? Peeled up, destroyed looking. Couldn't even really see it. You couldn't read it. Oh, I pictured what it could have been. I pictured what that sign could have been several years ago. Made me think, what kind of a sign am I? What kind of a sign am I when I'm upset down at the doctor's office, Stephanie? Makes you think. Oh, I didn't really do nothing wrong. I told them what I thought. The Bible says, be angry and sin not, doesn't it? I didn't sin. I didn't cuss them out. I didn't sin. I don't think I did. But what kind of a sign was I to those people in that doctor's office? Was I a bright, brilliant, beautiful sign representing my church? Or was I this sign representing my church? What kind of a sign are we? What kind of a sign am I? Oh, I want to be a great, brilliant sign for my church. I want to be a wonderful, pretty sign for my Jesus. I don't want to be a sign like this. I don't want to be a sign like this and nobody can read. Looks like it's been left alone and not thought about, not repainted, not kept up.
No.
I don't want to be like that. I want to be a sign for my Jesus.
Oh, yes.
People can see.
Yeah.
A street sign. I want to be a street sign.
Yes, amen.
When I left
Precious.
Brookhaven, Mississippi to go to Olive Branch, to get that pump. I talked to the people in Fort Smith, South Central Pools, and they said they didn't have that pump. I don't want a Hayward pump just exactly like I had to put up there. Not that I'm lazy, but if I just use the same kind of pump I use a union, don't have to cut and replumb. So I was talking to them, and they said, well, we don't have one in Fort Smith. I said, well, where's one at? They said, well, we got one in Olive Branch, Mississippi. I said, well, how far is that from Brookhaven? They said, all 25 miles. I said, I'll take it. So I told them, I said, text me the address. So they did. I knew I had to go leave and go that way, go east. So after the funeral, I left and went out, and I seen that they had texted me the address, so I pushed OnStar. Give that little lady the address. She said, Mr. Holloway, she said, I've located your address. She said, I'll send the information to your vehicle now. I said, thank you very much. So I'm going down 301. It says, go east on 301 for 16 miles. Well, as I started getting closer and closer and closer, it said, turn left on Alexandria, and I think it was a mile or something. And then it said, turn left here. Boy, I stopped, big divided highway, had a median, I call it a comedian in the middle. And I got over in the turn lane, sat waiting for my light, and I'm looking, and I see no street sign that says Alexandria. No street sign. I look everywhere. I mean, I'm actually looking like this. And I think, how in the world, if it didn't tell me to turn there, how would I know? I can't turn on Alexander if I don't know where the street is. I'm not from around here. My light turned green and I went. It said go, another, I don't know, mile or whatever. Turn right on, I think it was Martin. Come up to a little three-way stop, not the one that I saw the sign, the little three-way stop sign. Said turn right. No sign. No street sign that said Martin. Of course, then the rest of the way I went, it didn't actually have street signs, but I got to thinking, what kind of a street sign am I to lead people to this church? Do they have to wonder where to turn right or left?
Oh, God.
Or can they look at me and see, I need to turn right here, I need to turn left here, I need to go here? What kind of a street signs do I have to lead people to my Jesus? What kind of sign are you going to be? Are you going to be this bright, brilliant sign? Or are you going to be this wore-out sign? We got some people that maybe think, oh, I'm a great evangelist. Been a world-renowned evangelist for 30 years. I don't need a sign like that.
No.
Don't be a sign like this. Oh, I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor of a church. I don't need a sign like this. Oh, yes, you do. Because you don't want a sign like this.
Oh, no.
You don't want a sign like this that's broke down and destroyed.
Amen.
You don't want a sign like this that people can't read or have to get real close to read.
No.
Get a magnifying glass to see how good you are? No. I want to be a sign for Jesus, don't you?
Yes, amen.
I want to be a sign for Jesus. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah,
I
hallelujah.
want to be a sign for Jesus.
Yes.
A great sign.
Yes, amen.
Oh, not for me. Not to uplift Kevin Holloway. But to show people how to get to Jesus.
Yes.
Show people how to get to this church. To show people how to get to heaven. That's the kind of sign I want to be. I want to show people how to get to heaven, don't you? Does anybody here need to redo their sign tonight?
Come on.
Right now is the perfect time. Right now is the perfect time to get those brilliant red and blue back on there.
Yes.
Right now is the time to let people see this is what's coming soon here.
Yeah. Come on, sir.
You can change your sign.
Come on,
You
sir.
can change your sign. Does anybody need your sign changed?
Come on.
Right now is a good place to do it. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Praise God.
Amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Good time.
Thank you, Lord. Your prayer. Thank you, Jesus. All right, good. 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 Blazes. Jesus, Heavenly Father. God, I ask you, Jesus.
We know this need, God. In the name of Jesus.
Lord, not only for brothers,
God, we thank you, God, for your word, God.
God, I ask you, Jesus.
We know this need, God.
God, I ask you, Jesus, to help him, Lord, to fix his sign exactly the way he
What you
needs.
want to be, God. Create him
God,
right
if we can be a
now.
bright, brilliant
Help him, oh God.
sign,
Fill him with your
please,
spirit, God.
so
Keep the Holy Ghost, God. That he be overcomer, God.
Oh, Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. 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 Good word. How many of you need to work on your sign a little bit? The altars are always open. How many of you feel like you're ready to go? Feel like you're okay, everything's fine? How many feel like you need another talk with Jesus? Want to get a little closer? Want to draw from that well of salvation? Want to feel the hand of God upon you? And feel His touch? You're not ready to go home. I mean home. Don't leave this house until your heart is made pure. Let God wash you, cleanse you, and make you whole. Don't leave without it tonight. We don't know. We don't have a promise of tomorrow. All we got a promise of is right now. Right now. And right now, God loves you with an agape love.
Lift up your voices, sing joy.
Praise God. Let's just close our hearts, our eyes, and open up our hearts. Open up your hearts to God. Just let God deal with each and every one of us. Just God, reach down inside of each one of us, God, and stir our soul, stir our hearts, stir our mind, God. Purge us and cleanse us and wash us, God, with your sweet Spirit, Lord. Let your Spirit just breathe upon us tonight, God. Oh, God, we thank you, God, for stirring our hearts and mind, God, for helping us, Lord. Thank you for your blessed peace that you give us, Lord. Thank you for the sweet Spirit, God, that you give us, Lord. Thank you for the peace that passeth all understanding, God. Thank you for your great love and for your great mercy. We thank you, Jesus, just for being here, God. We worship you from our hearts. We worship you, Jesus. We praise you. Thank you for your blessing, God. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise you. Thank you, Jesus. Praise you.